Hi guys, welcome or welcome back to the channel. It's the holiday season now. Like, y'all, where did October go? First of all, like, time is just flying by. The fact that like we are in the last 2 months of 2023 is just like bizarre to me. It's just literally bizarre. Also, how's the lighting? It's kind of early in the morning, so I'm hoping the lighting is not too bad. But guys, I just, you know, it happened. Starbucks finally released their holiday drink. I always, like, every year the holiday comes in, I'm like, which one was my favorite between the chestnut praline and the caramel brulee? But I've learned that the chestnut praline is my favorite. And like when the holidays is not going on, the closest thing that I can get to this, I think it's like a toffee nut. I think is what like the lady made me once. Like one time I was in Barnes & Noble and they had just got rid of their holiday drinks, and I was like, what can you make that's like just as close? And so she did something with toffee. So I'm definitely gonna be doing that again, like, because when they get rid of their like holiday drinks, it's still cold outside, so I still want something hot. And I go between that or the cinnamon dulce latte is also really good. Everything is made with oat milk. We only do oat milk over here, guys. I'm sorry, I can't do regular milk. And almond milk is just, oat milk is better with coffee. So yes, here we are with the holiday drink, and I'm ready to put up my like holiday decor soon. You know, it's just, I love the holidays. I love everything. Like, I just love like the family time. I love the like gift giving. I love Christmas music. I play holiday music like all year round. So like that's not like, I know some people are like just like so against that, but I'm sorry. I play me some Justin Bieber Mistletoe, you know, all year round. And I love lately, one of my favorite songs has been the No Nonsense Christmas by Sabrina. And then also I love me some Ariana Grande Christmas music. Like, I'm sorry, I'm just that girl. Speaking of all the things I love about the holidays, like I said, I love gift giving. And y'all, this year I am so excited for like just all the gifts that I know I'm going to get family members. And one thing is Ana Luisa jewelry. So you guys already know how much I love their jewelry. They've been featured on my channel in the past. Literally all of my everyday jewelry and even like my special occasion jewelry, like a lot of it comes from Ana Luisa. So I want to show you guys some new pieces that I got, and also let you guys know that they have a sale for items up to 30% off, y'all. And I got a coupon code for y'all. So, you know, I just think this is the perfect time to stock up on some jewelry and, you know, get gifts. I know for a fact I'm going to be giving my mom and my best friend some jewelry from Ana Luisa, because they both love like dainty jewelry pieces and they love the pieces that I have. So like it only makes sense. And then also I just want to show you guys some new pieces. So I have this bracelet, and guys, I freaking love this bracelet. It has like, let's see if it's going to focus, but it has like pearls. Is it going to focus for you guys? That's rude if this does not focus. Okay, let's see. There we go. But yes, it has pearls, and I love it because like it's just like so like minimal, and it's just like y'all, literally cannot get enough of their jewelry. And then also I have a moon necklace, so you guys can see this here, and it just has a moon on it. And also did not plan this out, but it goes perfect with my City of Starlight shirt from my AccuTar collection from Wild Shadows. I will link them below also. But yes, it goes perfect with the shirt because, you know, starlight, moon, guys, I love it. Over the years I have become a gold girly. I don't know when it happened, but it just casually happened where like now my go-to color is gold, where it used to be my go-to color was silver. But if you are a silver girly, they got silver products too. So like the way I see it, it's a win-win. But the pieces if you guys are interested. So the necklace is the May necklace. I don't want to pronounce it wrong, but I will link that in the description, as well as the bracelet, which is the Adele bracelet. And then I also have a few other pieces I'm going to show you guys. So if you guys don't know, they are carbon neutral, so like all of their packaging comes in like these cute little pouches, and I love that because I travel a lot, especially like when I go home, and I love to take like different pieces of jewelry with me. So it's just so helpful to like not worry about putting it all in like a Ziploc bag and it getting tangled. It just easily gets to stay, like each piece gets its own little bag. And so I just love that so much. It's so convenient and so easy, like just for everyday. Even if you don't like, if you store your jewelry like in drawers or something, like you can put it in here and just store it there. Like I have all my jewelry hanging, but like if you store your, like if you like to store it in the packaging, I think this is perfect for that as well. And so the other item I have is this necklace here, and this is the marine opal necklace. And I have been looking for a marine opal necklace, and when I saw Ana Luisa had it, I was like, this is perfect. This is literally perfect, because I never had something like that, and I love, like, I feel like it's becoming very popular, like that just design. And so I was like, this is my opportunity to get it, so I need to grab it. And then I also have another bracelet here, and this one also has pearls. Can you guys tell? I'm like in my gold pearl era. That's what's going on here. But this is the bracelet, and so this one also has pearls, but the pearls are a little bit bigger. And then it also has like flowers in between. Let's see, let's try to do this, see if it like focuses for you guys. There we go. So it has like the little flowers in the pearls, whereas the one I'm wearing currently is all pearls. But I love this because I also have a bracelet with these flowers, so I'm like, they'll be perfect like if I want to wear two bracelets, like it'll match. So guys, and this bracelet is the Hannah bracelet. So if you guys are interested, I will most definitely link all of this in the description box for you guys, and I will also link the link to Ana Luisa. And so if you guys are interested, I highly recommend you take advantage of this 30% off sale that they're having. And like I said, you can also use my coupon code. And yeah, I want to thank Ana Luisa for partnering with me on today's video. Guys, you guys know I love them. I love their jewelry. I love the dainty pieces. So I like genuinely like will always recommend them, because it's just literally like, it's just perfect. It's perfect. And like I said, it's perfect for the holidays. If you have family members who love jewelry, like I cannot tell you enough, like this is gonna be the perfect gift for them. Like I get my mom jewelry at least once a year, whether it be Mother's Day, her birthday, or Christmas, and her birthday and Christmas are in the same month. So I like always end up getting jewelry for something. And so I know she's gonna be super happy with some Ana Luisa jewelry this year. But yes, once again, I want to thank Ana Luisa for partnering with me on today's video. And let's get into what I read for the month of October. Yeah, it's October. We're November now. Yes, let's get into what I read for the month of October. Okay guys, so for the month of October, hold on, I want more coffee. I want more coffee. But okay, so for the month of October, I read a total of 10 books. I don't think I had any 5-star reads this month, or did I? Is this the first month we don't have a 5-star read? That's gonna be interesting. Oh no, I did have a 5-star read. Oh, okay, I had 2 5-star reads. Okay, I was like, for a minute, I was like, did I have 5-star reads? Like, I have a mix of fantasy and romance. And guys, I like completely did not follow my TBR. So I originally like had like thrillers planned, and guys, towards the end of the month, I got into such a massive reading slump, and I'm still like in it. So I've been trying to reread Fourth Wing to get ready for Iron Flame, hoping that like that pulls me out of my reading slump. And it's like slowly doing it, but like, you know, like I kind of already know what happens, but it is helping like just getting those small details again. Like I still get like super antsy and giddy when I'm reading it, so I'm like, okay, it's like slowly doing it, but then like I get uninterested after so long, and I pick up my phone and start scrolling on social media. So we're like trying to get out of this slump, because I am ready for Iron Flame. Like, if that's the only book I read in November, that will be the book I read. With that being said, let's finally stop ranting and get into the books. The first book I read, which I actually finished a duology, and I've been wanting to finish this for so long, and I just kept putting it off, but I read Vengeful by V.E. Schwab, and I think don't even really know what this like duology is called. I guess you can just call it the Vicious Duology. I don't know. I honestly don't know what you would call it, but what was I going to say? But yes, I did read this one, and if you guys don't know, Vicious is the first book in the duology, and it basically goes around, it like centers around these people called EOs, which are extraordinaries, and basically they experience a near life death experience, and if they survive it, they come back basically like with powers, and essentially their powers kind of mimic the way like they almost died. So the first book really goes into detail about that, but the second book is kind of just a continuation, and one of the main characters, well, both main characters are in this one, and they essentially are just like kind of gearing like on the same mission in a sense. Like one is in a high max security prison, the other one is free, and there's this program that is trying to basically locate every EO, and they basically think they're harmful to the world. So yes, one is helping the people catch the other. So yeah, I know a lot of people say like they didn't need this one, which I think like this one, you can definitely just like read Vicious and not read this one, but I really did love Vicious, so that is why I decided to read Vengeful. But it's not like a, oh, you have to like read this one. Like the first one doesn't leave off on a cliffhanger to a point like where you like, okay, I have to pick this one up. Like it's very much more of like, if I want more of this world. So I liked it. I gave it 4 stars. I love V.E. Schwab's writing, so that just kind of was a given for me that I was gonna read it. And so yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it, but like I think I did like Vicious a lot better though. I think I gave Vicious 5 stars, so I gave Vengeful 4 stars. Wow, y'all, I feel this month really went by fast, because normally I'm like, dang, like I feel like I read this book so long ago, but y'all, I feel like I just read this book yesterday. Like what the heck? But I read Wildfire, and this was actually a new release this month. So this is part of the Maple Hill series by Hannah Grace, and Icebreaker is the first book, and it focuses on college kids and the hockey play. It's a hockey romance. And so I actually loved Icebreaker. Icebreaker was one of my top reads for 2022. Yeah, I was gonna say, what year are we in? But Wildfire, I love that it was a different setting. It was still like focused on like the college students, but it wasn't during the school year. It actually takes place at a summer camp. And so Russ and what's the girl's name? Aurora. I think that's how you say her name. Yes. So Russ and Aurora have a one-night stand at a like end of the year party, because it's about to be summer. And so actually the class that like Anastasia and Nate are in, they were seniors in Icebreaker. So this one picks up on them like getting ready to graduate. So I love that we also get like pieces of them, because I absolutely love them so much. But yes, so Russ and Aurora have a one-night stand at this party, and they expect not to see each other again. If they see each other, it's just gonna be on campus in passing. But turns out they're both gonna be they find out they're both camp counselors at the summer camp, but they find out like at the summer camp. They don't find out beforehand. They see each other and they're like, oh crap. So they now have to go the entire summer, and this camp has like a no fraternization, no romance rule for the camp counselors. So you know, they are essentially having to sneak around, because obviously they can't like, you know, just leave it at the one-night stand. There's obviously some real attraction there. And so yeah, I think like this is just like, it's not super plot heavy, you know, it's just like a really light read. It was just it was a good time. That's what this book was. It was a good time. I gave it 4 stars. And I know there's a third book coming out. I don't know the title. I don't know if she's released the title yet, but I just seriously love this book. I love this world, and the hockey players are just to die for. They are literally so sweet, and they are just like such protective figures over like all their friends. So I highly recommend that. This was actually, it's gonna be my next video, so I won't go into too much detail, but I did a 24-hour reading challenge, so you guys will see that next week. But I read the Six of Crows duology, and I have put this off for so long, and I'm so glad I finally read it, guys. This was a time. This was such a good time. I absolutely love these books, like literally loved. And I think I gave them both 4 stars. Yes, I gave them both 4 stars, but now for Six of Crows, I'm kind of leaning towards 5 stars now. Like, just thinking back on the book, I'm like, that could probably pull a 5-star. But this book, well, this duology reminds me so much of Money Heist. So if you guys have not watched Money Heist on Netflix, literally that's what this book gives me. Book 1 literally gives me season 1 of Money Heist. Book 2 literally gives me season 2 of Money Heist. Like, it's not even like, it's not the same plot line, but like it is the same plot line in a sense. So the first book, they are trying to complete a heist, and essentially it's one of those heists where like if you're successful, you survive, and if not, then you're dead. Like you're either gonna make it out alive or you're not gonna make it out at all. And then the second book is one of them actually ends up getting taken, like basically ends up in a sense like getting kidnapped, and this book is all about them trying to get her back, and kind of leads into another storyline as well, because some things go down in this book where they got to get what they're owed in Cricket Kingdom. So yes, y'all, this was a time. I highly recommend this series or this duology. You don't have to read Shadow and Bone before. I did not read Shadow and Bone. Is that what it's called? Yeah, I didn't read the Shadow and Bone trilogy beforehand. I will probably go back and read it, but it's not like on my radar to read like anytime soon. But yes, if you, like I said, I highly recommend this series. It was just such a time, and I was literally at the end of, like at the edge of my seat. Like, I was like, what is gonna happen next? And let's just say Kaz is literally just that guy. Like, I just want to pick his brain. Like how he be picking locks, I want to pick his brain. If you know, you know. So highly recommend that if you guys have not read that. And then next, I actually read the arc of You Said I Was Your Favorite by Monica Murphy. And you guys already know I go hard for the Lancaster prep world. It's just a given, and this is the perfect time, y'all. Every time I talk about this series, I always tell y'all this is the perfect time to read this world, because literally this is like the time frame that the books take place. It always takes place first semester of the school year, which, you know, and it always kind of leads into like the holidays. So, you know, if you're gonna read it, I mean, you can read it any time of the year, but if you guys really want the vibes, I say read it around this time of year. But this one is Arch. Is that how you say his name? Yeah, because they call him Arch. He hates his name is Archibald, but they call him Arch. And you have Daisy. And so Arch is basically this very popular kid, and he's the Lancaster, and it's his senior year. Yeah, his senior year. And he was in a relationship, but he really didn't like the girl, and so they ended up basically breaking up against the girl's wishes. She was not having it. And then you have Daisy, who is this quiet girl who really tries to go unnoticed. All 3 years she's been at the school, she's really gone unnoticed, and Arch just decides he wants to bother her. Like, she just minded her business, and Arch is just like, I want to bother her. And so they actually end up doing like an office, what do you call it in high school? It's like a free period, but like office, is it office assistant? I forgot what they call. I feel like I haven't been in high school in forever. Oh my gosh, I feel so old now. But yeah, they like they ended up being like office assistants during the same period. And you know, Arch just kind of weases his way into her life, and they actually end up becoming friends, and then they kind of take it further. And Daisy's a little hesitant because she's like, what does he want with me? Like, why is he seeking me out? No one has seeked me out since, you know, I've been here. And so she's already a little on the defense, and Arch is all about like trying to get her to let her like guard down. And you know, y'all already know when the Lancaster boy falls, he falls hard. And so that's exactly what happened in this. And I feel like this book is the book that reminds me so much of A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime. That is still my #1 book in the series. Like, I stand by that. But this one is a close second. And like I said, it's really giving, like, Arch and Crew kind of give me the same vibe in a sense. But Arch is really like... Arch really is a troublemaker. Crew wasn't as bad. And then Daisy, like, she's not popular, but then you have Ren, who was popular, but they're both giving that like good girl vibe. So it's like, I don't know, it just gave me the kind of the same vibes. And it's also their parents don't, well, as like A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime, they both came from rich families. Daisy does not come from a rich family, so his family is already kind of like not really for him to be with her, and her dad does not like Arch, so you know, it's already like forbidden. So it's just, yeah, it's just giving you all the high school like little drama. And yeah, I think her name is Eden, but Arch's little sister, I really want a book of her. I really want a book that she has, because I loved her. She was literally like so cool in the book, and just like she kept Arch in his place. Like, I absolutely loved it. So, and I gave that one 4 stars as well. This is probably the only like spooky vibes book I read, which is crazy because I literally had like so many planned out. I had so many books I was like, I'm gonna read this month for spooky season. And guys, I didn't read none of them. I read My Roommate is a Vampire, and I don't know why, but it took me so long to get through this book. Like, I was a little concerned. I was like, why is it taking me so long to get through this book? But yes, so I read My Roommate is a Vampire, and it's by Jenna Levine. And basically, what was I gonna say? This book is about a girl who is trying to find a room, or trying to find somewhere to live for an affordable price, and she actually ends up finding one that's kind of like hard to believe. Like, it's very off-putting in a sense of how cheap it was. And turns out her roommate is a vampire, hence the title, My Roommate is a Vampire. And so the guy, what's his name, Frederick J. Fitzwilliam, y'all, that's my first time ever saying his name out loud, because when you're reading your head, so like I never say his name out loud, and trying to say it out loud sounds so weird. But yes, so Cassie ends up moving in with Frederick, and she's under the impression that he is a normal human being, but the way he's very, you can tell he's very like, he operates much more in like earlier decades, probably actually centuries, because as you guys know, vampires have immortal life. So he's like very old. He's been alive forever. And so he's trying to find someone to help him navigate through the 21st century. And so Cassie doesn't know she's going into that. She just thinks, you know, she's obviously has a roommate that has a night job, that sleeps during the day, you know, that just unfortunately is very old school. Even the designs in his apartment is old school. And so yeah, once she finds out, he finally comes clean. He's like, I need someone to help me, you know, like navigate the 21st century. And we find out why he's like so behind like in the world in this book. And obviously there's some romance that happens. So yeah, I just feel like the first half was a little slow, but the second half it definitely picks up. But it's a very short book. It's 335 335 pages, 337 pages to be exact. And yeah, I feel like if you just want like I wouldn't even say it's like a rom-com. I mean, it is kind of a rom-com because it like the romance is like so much later in like the end, I kind of feel like. But yes, I highly recommend that you read this if you guys are like just wanting like a small, like a quick little like palette cleanser is what the word I was looking for. And I gave that one 3 stars. Hopeless, guys. The fact that like it's crazy because at the beginning of this year I didn't know when I was going to get into the Chestnut Springs world, and I got into it, I think it was July, and to know that I'm finished with it now, like y'all, I ate this series up. This series is my Roman Empire. But this is Beau's story, and if you guys don't know, Beau is the last brother of the Eaton brothers, and this is the 5th and last installment of the Chestnut Springs series. And so we find out in Powerless that Beau actually ends up having a really bad accident, and we get little snippets of him and Reckless about like just his kind of new personality, and how he's like coping. And so to finally like get his story and like get his point of view on like what happened and what he's going through was just so needed. And I think this was the perfect like story for the last one. I think Beau's story was perfect for the final installment. But this book is fake dating, well, fake marriage, fake proposal, you know what I mean. And I wouldn't say, I mean, in a sense it's almost like Grumpy Sunshine, but also it's kind of really not. But you have Beau and what is the girl's name? Why can I not remember her name? Wait, we're gonna get her name. What's your name, girl? Wait. I think it starts with an R, or is it Bailey? Where did I get R from? But yes, so Bailey is actually the sister of Bailey is the sister of the Eaton's neighbors. So yeah, Bailey is the sister of the Eaton's neighbors, and their neighbors are not nice people, but Bailey is very different from them. But obviously she ends up getting the same reputation that her brothers have because she's their sister, unfortunately. But she works at a bar, and her goal is to like save up enough money so she can go to school and basically get out of Chestnut Springs, because she's just so tired of like this preconceived connotation of her before people even know her, just because of who her family is. And Beau is basically in this kind of situation where he's just kind of coasting, not even coasting, but he's just not happy with his life. What he was doing before, he unfortunately can't do anymore, so he's like working on the family ranch, and he's just not happy with his life. And his family is just kind of, you know, very concerned about him, and he's just like, I'm tired of y'all bothering me. So Beau ends up basically proposing to be fake engaged to Bailey, and essentially it's supposed to help her reputation because she'll be sporting the Eaton last name, which the Eatons are like so popular within Chestnut Springs, and they are just like so loved. So like he's hoping like with her having his last name that essentially her reputation, people won't like treat her as a Jennings. Is that the last name? Jennings, I think. Jennings forms, I think that's what it is. Maybe not, I may be wrong, but essentially they won't associate with her brother. She has the last name Eaton, and then she is with him essentially because if he's engaged, his family will think he's okay, they won't bother him. So yeah, that's the whole scheme. That is the whole reason they are planning this fake marriage. And so Bailey actually ends up, she has an RV that she parks on his land, and she tries to stay in there, but then of course things, you know, change. Y'all already know how Elsie Silver does. She, you know, it always plays out the same. It's gonna be a happy ending, but you know, you're gonna eat it up every single time. I will say the third act breakup did like kind of not make sense, almost like it made sense, but it was also kind of just like, was it needed? Like, I think it gave a little tension in the end, so I liked it, but like it could have went without it. But needless to say, I still did give this 5 stars because I just love this world so freaking much. I love the writing. Even though like it's a thicker book, it still seems so fast paced, and I just love the way she wrote Bo. Like, she just really gave him his flowers, and he got what he deserved in this book. And I'm like talking about him like he's a real person, but yes, I was so happy for him and Bailey, and it was just, you know, everybody got their happy ending in the Chestnut Springs world, so I love it. I love that everyone, you know, is happy and married and in love, if you will, is what I will say. Next book, which is also, this was my only other 5-star read, and it's kind of, it's funny because it's kind of similar to the Chestnut Springs series, but it is Before the Sunset by Lord Pavlov. So it is the Cottonwood Cove series, and I started this series 2 months ago, and y'all, her books are so bingeable. I think I said this in my last wrap up when I read After the Storm, but her books literally are just, I think I read this in a day. Like, I read this book in one day, and I don't regret it. And so that's why I had to give it 5 stars, because I was like, the fact that like this book like had me that like stuck on it, like I couldn't let it go, was just a true testament to how good her writing is. And so this one is actually a childhood friends to lovers, fake dating as well. That's so funny, fake dating. I did 2 fake datings. But yeah, so this one is actually what's the male's name? I know the girl's name is Reese, but I don't remember the guy's name. And it's let's see, Finn. So Finn is the guy. Finn is like the basically the sibling of like the family that this covers. And Reese is his best friend. They have been friends literally since they were babies. And they, in middle school, they made a pact to never basically cross that line, because they never wanted to ruin their friendship. And so all these years things have been fine. Reese actually was engaged. Finn is now like, he's becoming a famous actor, and so he's, you know, they both have their life paths, but the actor that Finn ends up working with, she's just so dramatic, and she's just basically looking for clout. So she ends up kind of like trying to throw dirt on his name and fake like they had a relationship in a sense. And Reese actually ended up leaving her fiance for an architect gig for a year. I think it was in England, and her fiance was just like, no, this is not going to work, and which is so stupid, but I'm actually glad he did that. But yeah, he just decided, you know, even though you've like made moves for me while I, you know, work to be a doctor, I can't accept you going to England to make your career true. So yeah, their engagement ended up ending, which Reese did not want. Finn never was a fan of her fiance, so, you know, right up his alley. But yeah, when she comes back from England, she is trying to make her ex-fiance jealous because she actually wants him back, and Finn needs the press, the people, to not see him as this player that this girl that he worked with is trying to make him seem like. So hence the fake dating. That is why they start fake dating, and it just works out perfect because it's like, oh, this is your best friend and now you guys are dating. And so it almost like, it worked, well, not almost, but it did work out perfectly because they already knew so much about each other. So it was very easy for them to like step into those like dating roles. But yeah, so, you know, time goes on, and her ex-fiance is just like, you can tell he gets jealous, and, you know, things change. And yeah, it's a happy ending, as you know, all the Cottonwood Cove series do. So literally, like I said, it's kind of like, I literally read Hopeless and then jumped into Before the Sunset. So it was just like, it was perfect. And like I said, I gave this one 5 stars as well. Read this in one sitting. It's literally not a long book at all. I think it's, how many pages? 300 pages. So, you know, I knocked it out, y'all. So I love that world. I love the Cottonwood Cove series. The last one is After the Storm, I think, and it's gonna be a single dad romance. So you guys already know I'm reading it this month, so be prepared to hear my thoughts about it because I am so excited. Last book that not the last book, but the second to last book I read was Kiss the Selkie by, I never want to butcher her name, but I'm just gonna say Tess Odette. And this is the, is it the 3rd book? Yes, the 3rd book in the Entangled with Fae series, and it's a Little Mermaid retelling. And guys, I actually am very surprised how much I started to really like this book. And I was hesitant on starting it. I don't know why. I guess I didn't think I wanted to hear about Maze's story, but we find out who Maze is in, what's that book called? Heart of the Raven Prince. So in the Cinderella retelling, we meet Maze, and yeah, so this is her book. And basically she goes on the run because she doesn't want to marry the Raven Prince. And so this book picks up a year later, after she's been to a new city and she's living this new life. And she ends up saving this one guy who is a part of this group of people who were known to not like Fae, and that ends up backfiring on her. In a sense, her birth mother ends up finding out where she is, and she ends up having to join this this competition to marry the guy that she actually saved, because she has to, she has to complete this mission now that her birth mother has put her on in order to live. So it's all about that, and you get to see from where she goes from deception to admiration, yeah, for the prince, not the prince, dang his name, for the guy. I'm thinking of the Raven Prince, but yeah, it's super interesting. And also her little best friend Podaxis, I think is how you say. I love Podaxis. I honestly would have loved to have a chapter in just his point of view, because he was literally just he just didn't hold back. He was so witty and funny, and honestly to this day, even the description of him, I still cannot imagine what he looks like. And I just always think of a crab, but I know it's not a crab, you know. I don't know, but I gave this one 4 stars, and like I said, I truly did enjoy it. And you know, for a Little Mermaid retelling, I didn't know what to expect, but I was very thoroughly surprised. So I do plan to read the next one, which is, what's the next book? A Taste of Poison, which I think that one is a Snow White retelling. So yes, I absolutely love that series. It's perfect. They're all on Kindle Unlimited, so I actually always just read them on my Kindle, and it's just so easy to get through. And you know, it's a good little fantasy that's not too dense, not a lot of world building, and you just kind of get to be one and done with it. It's not as each book is a standalone, but I love that you get to see each character, the character in the next book ends up being introduced in the previous book. So I love that. And then lastly, I actually read another arc, which I'll put the cover here because I have to order the paperback. I'm waiting on the discreet cover to come out. But I read Ice Bet, which is in the second book in the Berkeley U series, which is another hockey romance. I read Weak Side a few months ago. I read the arc of that, and I love this world. Literally, I love hockey romances. They hit home. They not hit home, but they just hit another bone. They hit different, and I eat them up every time. And so Ice Bet picks up, well, it doesn't pick up where weeks I end. It actually covers the same timeline, but from a different point of view. So it covers Asher's point of view, and Asher is basically assigned by his coach to watch out for the coach's daughter. His daughter is joining the school. She's leaving the college she was at, and her dad is like, I need you to keep an eye on her, make sure none of the other hockey players, you know, talk to her, make sure, you know, they basically don't bother her, they're not to date her. Essentially, don't let her become a pug bunny. Make sure they're not treating her like a pug bunny. And he, in order to get Asher to do this, he technically threatens Asher, like saying, like, you know, if something happens, or like if this, you don't do this, you know, I can ruin your chances of going pro, NHL. So is it NHL? Yeah, national, yeah. And so he has no choice. He has to do it. And so he is already annoyed. He finds her attractive, but he also like finds her like very like cold and heartless in a sense. So it's like, you know, he can fight it in almost, but he gets very annoyed because obviously the hockey players cannot focus, and they actually end up making a bet. Not Asher, but some of the other hockey players make a bet, and that's why it's called ice bet. But the bet is to see who can get her first, who can sleep with her first. And so she's actually aware of this bet, so she kind of plays them all. She just like, she played them for the fools they are. And then her and Asher actually end up forming a friendship because she's an ice skater, and she had a accident where she could not get on ice anymore, like mentally. And so Asher is like trying to help her get on the ice and help her like just get back to who she was, or better than who she was. And so yeah, so you have that. So they're in on like trying to like, well, they're both in on the bet that the other hockey players made. So like they're basically playing them all for fools. And so yeah, and you get to see like, you know, how they try to hide the interest from the other hockey players that they have in each other, as well as her dad. And yeah, it was a good time. Literally all the books I read this month were just like a good time. I feel like they were all just super lighthearted. I didn't have any like super plot heavy. Well, the Six of Crows duology was plot heavy, but like it wasn't like a lot of like, it didn't take a lot of brain power in a sense. Like all my books were like pretty just easy flowing books. So yeah, and I rated Ice Bet 4 stars. So cannot wait for the next book in that series as well. Those are the 10 books that I read this month. Let me know what you guys read this month. And let's see, what's gonna be my question? If you guys made it to this point in the video, if you guys have literally sat here and heard me ramble for however long this video is, first of all, I commend you. But second, let me know, when do you guys put up your Christmas tree? So I am a firm believer of having the Christmas tree up before Thanksgiving. But before you guys attack me, I thoroughly believe that Thanksgiving is a holiday within itself. So Thanksgiving is celebrated, but the Christmas tree is up as like ambiance in the background, you know? Like we still have a few like little like fall like decor going on, but like I grew up with the Christmas tree already up. So then like when you start taking pictures, and we usually take like family Christmas pictures during Thanksgiving so they can be out like on the Christmas cards before Christmas. So yeah, I love having the Christmas tree up before Thanksgiving, even though like we still celebrate Thanksgiving. Like Thanksgiving is still like, it's big holiday, you know? So let me know what you guys think. Do you guys do you guys put your Christmas tree before Thanksgiving or after Thanksgiving? Like what's your go-to and why? And once again, I want to thank Ana Luisa for partnering me on today's video. Like I said, I will have everything listed in the description box, and just remember that they do have items up to 30% off right now. And guys, go get your jewelry, go get some family members some gifts. It's perfect for the holiday season that we have now. And you know, I highly doubt that you're gonna regret your purchase. Like I know you're gonna love it, I know it. So without further ado, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video, and yeah, I will see you in the next one. Love you guys. Bye.